Hey guys, welcome to another installment of our weekly mastermind, hosted live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the Real Estate Hub Discord server. The masterminds are open sessions for anyone in our Discord community to ask questions or share winning strategies that they're using to grow their business. Be sure to follow at Actually Agents on all socials to stay up to date with all the fantastic events and classes that we're hosting. Cool. Hey, it's 7:30, so I want to officially start the mastermind. Welcome all our returning faces. Welcome our new faces who I haven't seen before. I'm very happy that you're here. Um, this is an open community session, so at any point during the masterminds, which usually run about an hour, feel free to click that little hand raise icon, get up here on stage. If you're a new agent, seasoned agent, you want to talk about something we went over in Real Estate Mastery, which is happening right now. We're in the middle of it, Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Let's talk about it. So we're all just here to support each other as a group, keep each other accountable, and that's my intro. I'm going to rate it like personal, non-biased rating. That's like a 6 out of 10 intro. Right? Would you guys agree? Or am I way off the mark?
Solid 5.5.
Solid 5.5.
A
Unfortunately.
solid 6.
You've done better.
Well, what's going on with everybody? Has the doom and gloom set in yet? Are my memes accelerating the market crash? Is the market hot where
The
you're
rates
at?
are going up again next month, by the way, just so you know.
Will we
Yep.
see 8% mortgages by the end of the year?
Yes. If not the
yeah,
end of the year,
probably.
first quarter.
Absolute insanity.
They're saying
I
another
almost got my first-
75 bips.
God.
Where are my cash
And
buyers
then
at?
55% after that, I think.
Yeah, we're about to discover a lot of them weren't cash buyers. They just had really cheap money.
Time to start working on commercial deals.
I'm working on
I
a
leaned this.
307
I
unit
leaned the same way.
right now.
Are you really?
I,
Yo, you know anybody with QSRs, Luca?
QSRs.
What is that?
Drive-throughs.
Drive-throughs? Yeah, but what's the acronym stand for? I love a
Quick
good acronym.
service restaurant.
Quick service restaurant. Unfortunately,
I think that's
restaurants
gotta-
are something I deal with.
well, like Starbucks, any of that shit. I think it's quick service, whatever the fuck it is, but it's
quick service restaurant, typically triple net deals, so like Starbucks
Yeah.
drive-throughs, McDonald's.
I got a guy that's buying triple net like anywhere in the country.
Is he looking for land?
I could ask him if they're looking for land.
What is he looking for?
Anything triple net that's COVID proof.
Triple net that's COVID proof. All right, we'll connect after this. Sorry, Luke. I always got to come in here and just start making deals.
Bro, you're good. That's what I love. COVID proof buy grave would be like a Family Dollar, a Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
if they're gonna make a move on like a shopping center or something, because it's basically a guy that partners up with other investors. So like if I'm gonna pitch him something that's like a shopping center kind of thing, it's gotta have like a ShopRite, an Acme, something that won't get shut down. But anything they will not touch anything that is not triple net. They want nothing to do with it if it's not triple net.
I got you, Steven. Okay, that's good to know. So I work with a developer, and all he does is Family Dollars and just all the cheap shit, for lack of better terms. But it's that sustainable triple net, and he's a land developer. So we'll connect, and we'll figure out how to make some fucking money.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
If the mastermind ended right now, I'd count it a success.
You're the best, Luca.
That was
You're the
a
best.
deal flow live. That wasn't a mastermind.
That was a deal flow. You know what's a triple net that surprised me? U.S. post offices.
Yeah,
Really?
dude.
There's government buildings are interesting.
Dude, this kid called me.
They're government leases.
Yeah, they're government, because
Senior
the kid
leases.
called me. The kid called me the other day, and he said something about like, "Oh yeah, I want government buildings too." And I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, my guys found like a police station we're going to go under contract on. And I said, what, that's leased? He goes, a ton of them are leased. Police stations, parole offices, all that shit. They're all government
Libraries.
triple. Yeah.
I'm working on the library land deal right now, selling a shitty parcel of floodplain land to some, up and coming bougie city with deep pockets. It's weird. I haven't done it before. Would love any advice from anyone that has. But I'll try to keep y'all posted on how those work out, because they seem to be lucrative if it all works out.
Well, it's
I wouldn't think
so they
I
overspend
would
the leases.
I wouldn't think a floodplain and books would go together.
I have no idea what it's right on the city line and kind of like on the river. So they're doing like some community improvement. I don't know, some bullshit with some SPLOST dollars with 45 million in the account. So they're interested to some degree, but we'll see.
Pretty dope.
I almost got sued this week.
Oh, how'd that go?
Actually, it was kind of
What you allegedly do wrong?
fraud. Apparently, I was attempting to intent to defraud homeowners.
All right, you're gonna have to elaborate here, Tom.
Yeah, that's you're gonna need some explaining for that.
So my dad's also a realtor. Some of y'all know that here in the room. Some of y'all I have not seen before. So he comes to me earlier this week, like, hey, because he sold some land to a guy who's used to work out in California doing developments, big subdivisions, utility stuff like that. Well, the buyer liked him so much, he made my dad his new realtor. So he says, hey man, I got some friends from California who are wanting to move out here and wanting to buy anything from 50 to 100 acres and something they can keep horses on, cows, stuff like that. He goes, okay, well, let me see what I can find. Well, an hour later, dad calls me and goes, hey, I need you to find me 100 acres. Okay, let me see what I can do. So I found 100 acres, 72 acres, 72.44 acres that expired 8 days ago. It's kind of in the area they want it. It's it's not exactly what they want, but it's manageable. It's workable. So I drive an hour and a half into the Metroplex because this is out in the country, and I'm in DFW for those who don't know. So I drive into the Metroplex to find the person who can make calls. Well, the owner is a lady who is 87 years old. In my roundabout way of trying to find her, I managed to get her son's wife. Son's wife tells me that she has Alzheimer's and that her sister-in-law is the one with power of attorney. I said, okay, well, and in my roundabout way of searching for these people, I can't find an address. And luckily I found the phone number for the sister-in-law. That is the
true crime.
yeah. So I found the brother's wife's number offhandedly, didn't even mean to. So I was like, so do they happen to live in this town right here? Because I was going through like 17 addresses trying to find them. Looked at the tax records, looked at the deed of trust, and every single one bounced back that they didn't live there. Well, what had happened was this daughter who had power of attorney got divorced 2 years ago and had already remarried. And the house she was living in was her husband's house, and she was on the title. So I had no way of finding them until the wife of the brother shared that with me. They said they lived in this town. So I drive to this address in this town, knock on the door. A little girl opens the door, thinking it was the mailman or something. I said, hey, is Miss So-and-so here? Mom! She yells for her mom. Her mom walks up. Hi, how can I help you? I said, hi, my name's Thomas Roberts. I'm with Keller Williams Real Estate. I'm pretty sure that your mother's so-and-so, correct? She goes, yes, why? I said, so I'm under the impression that you have power of attorney to speak on her behalf, correct? She goes, yes. I said, okay, well, as I said, I'm a realtor and I have some clients who are interested in some land that your mother owns down where in X city. Okay. So we're talking back and forth. Well, it turns out the agent who had it listed that it expired on was her husband's sister. So I get a text. So I go home, I get her phone number, go home. I'm trying to schedule a preview, get it and list it so I can double side it with my dad. I get a text that night at 11:48 p.m. and I will read it to y'all. I actually still have it. It's pretty funny to read. This is so-and-so in Colleyville, Texas. It's my understanding Thomas Roberts came to our house today, and first question he asked my wife was if she had power of attorney for so-and-so person's property. I want Thomas Roberts to understand you'll be arrested for trespassing if you step foot on my property. I find your tactics unethical, and I'll be visiting our son, who's a Dallas attorney, tomorrow about filing a lawsuit on intent to defraud. So next morning, I call my brother.
Respond back. Ask him where he buys his meth.
So next morning, I call my broker and my dad. I conference call my dad because he's aware of the situation. Well, the other realtor ends up calling my dad. She calls me first after I leave the property and says, "You can't call my clients." I said, "Well, they're not your clients right now. The property's expired." She was like, "I've got paperwork signed." I said, "Is it in the MLS?" "No, not yet." "Well, then, as far as I'm concerned, it's expired until I'm told otherwise by the clients." They didn't say anything to me about it. Well, she reads me the riot act and talks a little dirty to me that was not very ethical in itself. My dad ended up calling her and they're talking whatever. Well, she goes, "Well, it didn't sound like he had any clients. It sounded like he was just trying to post the listing." He goes, "Oh, well, we have 3 people right now, 2 from California and 1 from here in the area, and they all just bought a bunch of commercial buildings in Dallas and Fort Worth." At that point, she starts, "Well, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can get it where y'all can show the property, da 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 da."
Yeah,
And
if this deal happens, she's going to be involved. So
she will be. She got it relisted within 2 hours of me leaving their house.
yeah. So
But about 45 minutes after she
wouldn't
called
worry
me,
about the lawsuit and just get the deal done.
And just to add on, if you want to add on a layer of fuck you, because every once in a while I like to do that in my deals. Thomas, you're out of the DFW Metroplex.
yes, sir.
So I went to Baylor, and whenever I just,
Oh, okay.
I had to quietly say fuck you to someone, what I would do is I would say free goats, and then I would put their address on Craigslist and an
You're the kind of person
anonymous.
I had an extra to me in college.
It's a very effective tactic in Texas, and I mean it just to throw it out there, because sometimes you want to ruin someone's day but not their lives, and it's just a healthy non-fraudulent activity that you can do anonymously.
Yeah.
Well,
and
the kicker of this all is
prankowl.com and sendpoop.com.
well, the kicker.
I'm familiar with both.
Yeah. Prank out is persistent prank calls, and then sendpoop.com. You can send exotic animal poop to people anonymously.
So to finish my story off, so then the other agent showed up to my office today, and I wasn't there because I was out showing property, talking to clients, and I actually just finished repairing a water faucet that a horse kicked over and busted. So like I have not been in the office whatsoever today. Well, my broker called me this evening earlier, as I'm elbow deep in the ground trying to replace this faucet, cutting off pipes and whatnot. "Hey, have y'all? What are y'all doing with this? Have y'all heard from so and so?" I said, "Well, we scheduled an agent preview today. Go look at the property so we can actually see what it is." Scheduled it through Showing Time, CSS, and went out there and looked at it. After we got an email this morning saying that we're allowed to step on the property and that they wouldn't arrest us because I wasn't doing anything until I got that in writing. She goes, "Okay, well, so and so came into the office today and was asking a bunch of questions about you and your dad." I was like, "Okay." "What'd they say?" "Well, something about bolt cutters and this and that they didn't find you very ethical." I'm like, "Well, that's crazy." So yesterday, the other agent had called my dad and told him that she had went to the office yesterday and that nobody in that office had ever heard of me. Then she asked about my dad, and they said, "Oh, well, he's very ethical, does things by the book. He's a good guy." But nobody had ever heard of me. So on here, I have my name as Thomas, but I go by TJ, my initials. The only problem is when I say TJ on the phone, people go CJ, PJ, DJ. I started going by Thomas recently on the phone. And then when I get in person, I introduce my initials as I'm known by. So she went in there, asked by my government name, and nobody knew who I was. So my dad had the chance to say,
Baby, what's your real name, not your stripper name?
So my dad had the chance to give her kind of a big fuck you over the phone, saying, "Oh well, my Thomas is my son, but he doesn't go by Thomas. He goes by TJ." And she got really quiet, didn't say much more, and then she showed up today to ask about us.
Bro, she sounds like the agents who, like, they have 1 or 2 deals going a year, maybe, if that. They'd probably be thrilled with 1 or 2 deals, and they
Total
got
Karen.
nothing but time on their hands, man.
So I went and looked at looked at the property today, and of course she has her face picture on the sign. I don't do that because I'm a man. It doesn't work for men as well to have a profile picture on your sign. Well, she's the kind of lady that has platinum blonde hair, definitely mid-50s, total Karen.
But she
Total
looks 25 on her sign, god damn it.
That sign, that headshot is about 15 years old. Yeah. Hey, is what it is, bro.
Well, and the kicker is, I don't even think the clients like the property, and they listed they recently listed at the same price that it expired at. So I don't think my clients like the property, so it's just going to sit there for the next 6 months again until it expires.
Well,
Sounds
that's
like a headache I
write
would
an offer,
not want to take
She's gotta present it. Write an offer if they like it.
If I do, it'll be 10,000 acre less than what it is, which
About 10,000 acre? Oh shit, that's Texas. 10,000 acres.
no, it's currently for 10,000 per acre, $10,000 an acre.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about 10,000. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
No, $10,000 an acre. But they got it listed for 18 right now, and we put an offer in at 10 if we did, just to say fuck you.
Do it. Fuck her.
I'm waiting on the clients to come in town and take a look at it.
If you want me to do the Craigslist ad, just DM me. I'll do it. I'm good at
I
it.
like that. Free goats. I got a buddy who's
very effective.
He's a fan of the emergency plumber at 2 a.m.
What is that?
It's 2 a.m. You call an
It's ingenious. That's what it
call an
is.
emergency plumber to their house because their water heater blew up. But we're getting away from it. See, this is what happens in a down market, guys. A bunch of real estate agents get together and plot about ways to get back at it, people. I don't think it's conducive to us growing our businesses.
It's conducive to getting revenge.
Yeah, it is, and it's amazing how often you need that stuff in this business. A lot of big egos and a lot of big personalities in real estate on both sides, the licensed and the unlicensed.
Well, and they live in the part of the DFW Metroplex. It's super bougie. It's called South Lake, and it's like Selena
They're
Gomez.
not even in Highland Park. Tell them that. Say, bitch, you're not even in Highland Park. Get out of here.
You really want to cut deep, dismantle their entire worldview.
Exactly. Kick
It's
them where
not
it
Highland
hurts.
Park, but South Lake is the pretty bougie for the Fort Worth equivalent of Highland Park.
Lauren must go.
I bet their cars are leased.
What do you want?
What do I want? I want you to tell me what's going on, Musco.
Well, I just got off a Zoom meeting with a couple of newer agents. I'm glad you're here, ma'am. So I met with them. They know that I just work with people I know and referrals. And I kind of became a little bit close to them there's a weekly meeting about like cold calling and stuff like that. I'm like, boy, that's just not my forte. It's not my jam. So they asked to meet me. I met with them. I thought it went so well, and I did my Tuesday meeting. So following up from that, I was just talking about like routines and about how when you start a new routine, you really need to break it down into easy to follow steps that like if anybody were to pick up the instructions, they can follow it, right? That's really the key to any new routine. So after that, I looped in, we have like, I think 4 or so new agents like brand new ones in the office and sent out an email like, hey, look, we're going to be meeting weekly for like accountability, and this is how I run my business. Are you interested in joining in? I'm happy to share what I do and like help you with like break down the steps and help keep you on task. So that just happened. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. And they're all
Yeah.
game for it?
Yeah, I just started getting emails back that they were down.
And how'd your meeting go?
Great. Oh my God, it couldn't have went any better. Yeah, I was really, really pleased.
Yeah. So to fill everybody in here, the new people and people who don't know Lauren, because Lauren was absent for a couple weeks there. Lauren is a powerhouse agent in the Portland, Oregon market. I always think she's in Seattle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
What are you talking about?
did,
Slow
did I
yourself
fuck
down.
up, Lauren? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
all
it
right.
in his
Thank
voice.
God.
Makes me think it's Washington.
Yeah, I was almost gonna say Washington. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get into the habit of introducing ourselves too for those juicy referrals.
I literally have it in my name. It's laurenmusco.oregon.
Oh, see? I'm stupid. Every time like I see something about Seattle, Washington, I think a couple times I've sent it to you and you're like, dude, I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. Well, it's like 3.5 hours away. Oh, thanks though.
Yeah. You know, it's all the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
All right.
Lauren, don't forget you got to put top producer in your bio also.
Oh my God, yeah. Do that year one.
Oh, easily.
Obviously, you
$1,000,000
start at
club.
year one.
$1 million club's a nice one.
They don't actually put bottom producer in their bio, no?
What's
So
that,
could
Megan?
Does anyone actually
ahead.
put bottom producer in their bio just to change things up, you know?
Bro, you
The
guys
reverse psychology.
your bio says multi-dozen-dollar producer.
That was it.
Yeah.
Bottom feeder. We'll send you goats.
Absolute bottom feeder.
Oh, there we go. Now we're in the goat.
Yeah.
You're selling and land clearing. This is development. This is deal flow. I'm telling you guys. Lauren, is Portland where they do the like the $500,000 tiny houses?
Yeah, I mean, tiny, like the little, yeah, and not
That's
too many people
Seattle,
are doing tiny
Jeff.
homes. They want to, they do. I have so many people reach out about it, but with it's just at the end of the day, I really haven't met too many people that find it worthwhile.
Interesting.
They love
What?
ADUs out here. They love ADUs. Forget about the tiny homes. Like,
Okay, so ADUs are so is it are do people buy for a hack house strategy? Is that a lot of
yeah,
your clients? Okay, interesting.
multi-gen. Multi-gen's a big like buzzword, and
Oh,
ADU potential. ADU potential is another one. Um, yeah, I do. I mean, there's either people that they want their family to move in with them, but especially like my age range of like millennials, they're always thinking like, how can I rent out some of my house without it affecting my life?
yes, absolutely.
So yeah, because people have, kids and stuff. They don't necessarily want to house hack where they're like, room by room. And I remember hearing about a guy that was doing that hardcore. I did that in college. I don't want to do that again as an
Yeah,
adult.
it's too much. It's too invasive. But the ADUs are great. I mean, it's like you don't see them. You can create your own
Yeah.
path. And
So the rent potential,
how
that's
how
big. I
how
have
is
people
how
that are like, we're in this price point for us as a single family. But if you find something that we could rent out, then we're going to be $200,000 higher because we don't necessarily want to take on that mortgage payment without that help.
and how do they end up? So do they like talk real numbers? So like, what would their real budget be? Like, give me an example.
500,000 to 700,000. That's right now.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
popular, and honestly, that's kind of my favorite budget is just to sling houses at, because it's like you do like 10, 15 a month, and you're like, oh, sweet, not a bad month. But that's interesting. But they'll add to now. Will they do the construction? And do you have a contractor that you always use, or how do you structure that?
I mean, that's on them after closing, but after a lot of the time these places, so they're looking for places that have a separate entrance, that have, bedrooms down there. A lot of those like daylight ranches work well, split level homes. So a lot of the times it's just like one big house, 2 levels type deal, or there really aren't a lot of basements out here. There are in the like Portland proper, but most of the time they're low ceiling, spooky ass basements. Like nobody wants to live in that.
Right.
Like I'm from New York, and like until I moved here, I was like, "What do you mean you don't have basements? Like they just have crawl spaces under the house."
Okay. So
Yeah.
everything's on crawl space.
That's
Gotcha.
the majority of it in the suburbs, especially. But yeah, so they're just looking for like something. Most of my clients say like it's a first time home buyer, right? They don't want to do a big construction job of putting in another entrance and stuff. So they're just looking for like how it could work and figure it out from there. I do have like the quote unquote preferred vendors. So with Berkshire Hathaway, they have their own home services vendors that I could refer out, or I have ones that I just use consistently. Show me you're responsive, you show up on time, and you do good work, and I will always refer you out.
Heard.
Yeah,
Are any of them ever prefab ADUs?
like
And
in the
what?
backyard, have another. Yeah, some do. I don't encounter those terribly much, but they are out there.
How is that perceived in the market?
Well, I mean, they're not people since the pandemic, people like the idea more, right? Everybody wants to have rental income or just to be able to a lot of people
Well,
are going
that
to
and I think rising interest rates too, because people are going to either double down on what they have and stay where they're at, and either do a cash out refi, maybe buy a second property, like an Airbnb type, and
Mhm.
a cap, whatever, or just kind of sell out, take the money and run. But it's interesting because in Georgia, at least, there's a lot of jurisdiction, particularly well, not really in Georgia. So Atlanta and Georgia, for those of you who haven't been, I mean, two different places, two different. There's Atlanta and then there's Georgia. I'm from Atlanta, but like Georgia's like, all right, y'all can build whatever y'all want out here. So we're seeing a lot of that, but obviously where there's more land, there's not as much density. But where there's more density, the restrictions on ADUs are so strong. It's baffling, and I'm trying to figure it out. And it's interesting that Portland is seemingly kind of, I mean, like they're laxed with it. It sounds like.
Yeah, but it's because they have an urban growth boundary here. I don't know if you guys have that. Do you know what that is?
Have you seen like our governor and yeah.
Dude, my market's militant about ADUs. They want an entirely different septic system if you're gonna have.
Whoa, really? Okay.
If it's not attached to the main residence,
Mm-hmm.
never mind seeing if you could even get a permit for an ADU, like turning the area above your garage into an apartment. But if you wanted to build something like a tiny home on your property, they want an entirely new septic, an entirely new well. It's crazy.
I love Texas now. We don't have to deal with any of that.
Dude, New York is just how much money can we extract from the populace without leading to a civil result? And they're doing a terrific job of it. They're really like 5 stars.
So Oregon they don't want to just keep going with urban sprawling, right? So they have the growth boundary that they just can't, the farmland, protected farmland, forest land, you can't go and you can't build, right? So they have been, the laws have been changing for if you have so much, a population of like, I think it's over 20,000 people, if you have a single family residence and tear it down, you can make however many multi-units on it because they're trying to solve like it's a really critical low inventory here. So yeah, they're just trying to solve the housing shortage that way by saving the land, not just can keep going outward with the city, but like what we have, how could we put more homes on it?
Yeah. Lauren, let me ask you, because I've always admired the way you run your business by referral only. You don't buy leads, much to my ire.
Mm-mm.
has your marketing changed at all? Like, is the market slowing down enough that you're reassessing what you're doing to get business, or is it business as
No,
usual?
it's just business as usual. I don't.
Are you still overwhelmed?
No, I'm feeling good. I am busy every day to the point that I'm like, oh boy, all right, how do I carve out some time for me? But I'm not tearing my hair out and I'm trying to be better. I really am taking the time I want 2023 to be the year that my systems are in place and working for me and I'm no longer like
Running around
just
like a chicken with
tired and yeah, like so and being with these new agents is going to, I know it already is helping me build my systems to show them. I work really well with accountability, and especially if somebody's counting on me to do something, I will get it done.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're gonna try and bring these new agents into the fold, like schlep all your accessory business you can't handle onto them. Is
So
Lauren forming a team?
that's my DL plan.
Yeah. Team
Yeah.
within the brokerage. Does your broker have any restrictions on recruiting to a team from the brokerage? Because I've come across that in a couple
No,
different markets where
no. If anything, they were
Well,
encouraging it, but get a
really,
buyer's agent and stuff. Yeah.
but they're okay with you like poaching agents they've recruited.
I'm not poaching them. They would be joining my team. They're still making their money. It's not, does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah. Well, from a broker's perspective, like corporate was always telling us to not let teams recruit from agents within the office. Like they can form a team, but they have to recruit outside the office. And the
I don't
reason,
know.
yeah, and this was Berkshire corporate telling
Yeah.
us. So, and I know you're Berkshire. And the reason they don't want that is because let's say you have an office with 20 agents in them, and then you get a top producer, dynamite, someone like you, who forms a team, can actually provide leads, provide business, provide systems, like doing all the stuff that people think brokers should do, but brokers don't actually do. And then they take 10 of the 20 agents in the office, and now those 10 are on their own team, right? With their internal splits and whatever. And then somebody whispers in Lauren's ear about how much Keller Williams or Compass can support their business, and then Lauren leaves, right? And the Musco team vacates. Now that broker has had half of their agent population like carved out.
Join the dark side, Lauren. Keller Williams.
Dude,
Lauren just must know how to have that Berkshire Hathaway office by the balls because she must just be slinging those ADUs up in Portland.
oh, she has.
And they're not telling Lauren now. They're oh shit, Miss Moscow's walking in. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I joke
Devil
around.
me not.
They,
I
they,
should.
Cents
they
per
treat her,
page.
they treat her like shit.
What'd you say, man?
They treat you like shit. They have you on a terrible split for the amount of business you bring in.
Oh, no, it's all right. But yeah, so I haven't heard of that. And when I was on a team, I was recruited internally, and everyone else on the team was also internal. And I've never seen anyone in the office recruit externally. It's always been like, "Hey, who do you know here that would want to join? All right, let me ask around."
Huh. Interesting.
I could see how that. I mean, I see both sides, Luca, because I was at Sotheby's for a little bit, and then our team started getting creative and doing that. And we got a little slap on the wrist there for that main reason. And but I could see like from a broker perspective, especially as these brokerages are growing. I mean, ultimately they're paid on GCI, and if they can come and learn from Lauren because Lauren has her shit down, and that's one less broker phone call, one less broker headache, less broker turnover, etc. So it's an interesting model that I guess we'll see how it plays out, in the broker grand scheme of things. Which
Yeah.
I'm jumping ship again, being a broker whore and going back to Compass.
Are you?
I am. I've slept with everyone, and I was like, yeah, this is just the path of least resistance.
You're with a smaller independent right now, aren't you?
Well, so it's because I did all the boutique firms.
Yeah.
And I did all the boutique firms in Atlanta that, specialized in, not just luxury, but ultra luxury. And it's just the same shit, a different name. And like because it's so referral based and reputation based, it doesn't, they're like, oh, who are you with now? Who are you with now? I was getting ready to go with EXP because I was like, damn, those stock options, I got sold the pitch, but I think around two at Compass, and working on something there that possibly they're struggling a little bit with their software, so it'd be an interesting play.
Well, congrats. It's going to be a year of moves.
Do we have any Florida agents in here?
Minnesota?
Florida.
Florida. Let me see who's in the audience. No one I know from Florida.
So, if anybody in Florida does pop up and I'm not around, I have people who will buy anything that was hit by a hurricane.
I'm in the
I think
process.
Ill Estate's in ILL Estate is from Florida. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there he is.
Yep. Ill Estate is
South Florida.
His hand raised.
I've got a really good Fort Myers guy if you need him. He's
Chad.
What? It's deal flow.
Got your business. Yeah, but the deal flow goes first and foremost from community to community, not people community knows, Chad.
True.
Right there, Ill Estate is on stage. If he does not impress Thomas Roberts right now, then we can recommend your friend in Fort Myers. Ill Estate, you're up.
Well, what's going on, guys?
How are you, sir?
Good. Yeah, so what you had said, I was kind of, I didn't want to seem too opportunistic or vulturous, but as soon as I saw the pictures of Fort Myers, I'm thinking to myself, man, people are just going to just sell and start over somewhere, and the smart money is going to be buying that in droves. So
I'll tell you, I have a guy with $240 million, and he will get them the same money before they could get before the hurricane was hit.
Okay, Texas, I like it.
And how would this factor in with like insurance payouts and stuff, like where if they're insured, obviously, and they're how do we navigate that with with the cash buyer coming in? You kind of just say, hey, well, don't take the insurance money to take our money.
We negotiate with insurance people on behalf of the homeowner since we're purchasing.
Mm-hmm. So is the insurance company essentially where you're getting a lot of the money from, and they're kind of paying you, and then doing the transfer for the deed?
Not necessarily, because the thing is we have contractors and material on staff, or this guy does, and so he would be able to have the fastest turnaround. And you're gonna have people who are gonna say, "My wife's tired of living in this FEMA camper. We'll pay more out of pocket."
So for those that are kind of waiting
it's almost
their checks,
it's almost an auction effect.
Right, an option. You can wait it out, or would sell to us, and we'll work directly with your insurance company to make you whole, basically.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll DM you on here, and I have a lot of database tracking for the state of Florida, so I'll definitely kind of tell me whatever Sanibel Island or Bonita Springs or whatever specific subdivisions that he's going after, and then I can have my prospectors start looking into it.
Anything that was hit by the hurricane. I'm going down there in 2 months, and I'll probably be down there for. I'm going down there in 2 weeks, and I'll probably be down there for a month.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it sounds like you're going all the way in on this. Sounds like there's a lot of money to be deployed that you're going to be representing.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Love it. Make something happen.
All right, I
Jarrell,
just sent you a DM. We'll connect after.
Perfect.
Yeah, check your DMs, Thomas, as well. I sent you one from Poop That.
Kyle, does it make you upset that you have to explain the DMs coming from poop.nft?
Nah, I love it.
Have you decided if you want to change that name yet?
Never.
It threw me off so
Never.
hard when Kyle first DM'd me about the
Yeah.
multifamily stuff. I was like, who
I
in
was
the
like,
fuck is trying to sell me some off-market
I'm trying to send you
BS
some shit,
and
dude.
shit?
Yeah.
He
You should
almost
come to my website, sendpoop.com.
and poop dog. That's the only reason I'm shilling it. Kyle, you need to Venmo
This
me.
is incredible. This
Yeah.
is fucking incredible.
Full circle, baby.
Hey, Jarrell, I don't want to skip over you, bro.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. How are you? What's up?
Good, good. Hey, I just was it Lauren that she said that she was from she does real estate in Portland?
That's me.
Did I catch that right?
Yeah.
Do you do work across the bridge as well?
No, I
in
have agents I
Vancouver at all?
refer to. What'd you say?
I said like in Vancouver at all?
I have some agents that I refer to between Vancouver up to Seattle.
Okay. I'm from Northeast Portland. And so I got
Oh.
friends of mine who are looking to, buy houses, but I haven't been, I don't have any homies that are currently in real estate out there that I trust to get the job done. So
Yeah, let me know. Just shoot me a message. I can give you some names.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead
Yeah,
and shoot me a message too, so I can weasel my way into this somehow.
I got you.
Make sure you CC me on those messages. Listen, there's a lot of money flying around tonight. I just want to remind everybody that you accepted the terms and conditions when you joined this Discord that Luca, aka Action Agents, gets a 15% cut on any business that is transacted. You all signed it. You should have read.
Raise
That's
your hand if you
brilliant.
believe him for a second.
If you
Yeah.
did, Luca, I'd hand the money over, and I mean I'd probably tell you to fuck yourself, but you're smarter than everyone here.
He'd get a bag of poop.
Oh,
Yeah, Luca, what's
Hit
your
me
address?
up.
I want to send you something.
a bag of poop for sure. From poop.nft.
Where do I send the check?
You'll kill me. Kill me. Devin.
Can we go ahead and get Luca's actually agent's profile on Craigslist as well?
Yeah, for the free goats.
What's going on, Luca?
What up, Dev?
Oh, not a whole bunch. I'm kind of almost in, and I guess are we just kind of chatting right now? Is that kind of what we're doing? Is there any like specific topic or anything?
No, this is all just round table. If
Okay,
you're having
cool.
a problem somewhere, yeah, tonight's topic is give Chad business.
There we go.
That's always tonight's topic.
Always the topic. No, man, it's open forum. So if you have something you want to discuss, lay it before the quote unquote committee here.
Yeah, for sure. So mine's on it. It's kind of within myself, honestly, and it's not necessarily like, I mean, it is a little bit real estate, but it's not like client based or anything like that. It's for myself. So right now, I live downtown Indianapolis. I've lived down here for 2 years, and when I first moved down here, because I really didn't know like where I wanted to be like long term or whatnot, and starting in the business new in Indianapolis, I was like, okay, I'll plant my feet downtown and then move around till I figure it out. But so I have cheap ass rent down here, where now it's like the rent is double, almost like triple in some spots. But then, now it's like buying too is so expensive with rates. So, I pitched almost the same thing to my clients, but now it's, myself too. And then just kind of seeing what next year looks like. I don't want to put myself into a position where, I'm buying a little bit more house that I can afford this year, but maybe not house that I can afford next year with rates being high, if that makes sense to everybody.
Gotcha. So you're looking for a house for yourself, Devin?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning more towards. I mean, I would like, because the renting game's not ideal, but sometimes it's always, sometimes it's the cheapest route too, because I can just pick up and leave and not have to worry about anything. So I kind of like in that aspect because I don't really have any baggage. I'm not tied to anywhere, and I mean, living downtown, I'm probably looking at anywhere from 500 to $1 million, but out in the suburbs I can be 300 or sub. So it's just being so close downtown, I'm central to everything, so I can work all out in the burbs, which is what I do right now. I sell within about a 25-mile distance on all, edges of me, north, south, east, west, everything. But I get out into one of the burbs. I feel like I might centralize a little bit more out there, but I won't be so versatile everywhere is kind of what I'm getting at. So I don't really know. I'm trying to decide on what I should do and what's like a better game plan financially for myself.
So are you worried that the market's going to shit the bed so bad that your income's going to change? Because your monthly payment won't change.
Right. Monthly payment won't, but no, I don't think I don't think there's gonna be like a fallout. But this year's been a really good year, so I'm just like making sure that the momentum stays because it's my second full time year in. So I'm like, okay, how do I keep the momentum going for third year to where I can be able to, if I am on a house payment or whatever, I'm okay with whatever I'm getting myself into.
You got are you married? You got kids?
Nope, nothing.
So what I would advise someone in your situation, being that you're plugged into the real estate market locally, and hopefully you have a ton of contacts all over the place and you're prospecting and talking to people, right?
Right.
Buy a multifamily with an FHA loan.
Yep.
And
I was
And
going to say
yeah,
the same.
live in one
thing.
unit, and then if you only put 3.5% down, you can stay stacking some dry powder. And then if things go to shit, I mean, hopefully the multifamily you buy makes sense financially with the cash flow and counting your cost of living.
right.
Buy it in the hood.
Yeah, dude. And
Well, and
just
see, that's almost the thing. Even the shit that's in the hood right now is going for so much because we've had so many out of state investors. I mean, I have
Find the new hood. Same thing happened in Atlanta where the east side took off and then
right,
where the smart money was looking on the west side. So look, I mean, and when
right,
hood is so vague, really it's cheap land right now in Georgia. The cheap land is like if we're putting slapping labels on everything, breaking every realtor law known. The redneck stuff is like what's cheap
right,
now because that's so people are going north more. So just that's I mean, Luca nailed it with the advice. The FHA loan, you stack your dry powder, get some cash flow, and also you're not like a hypocrite. You don't want to feel like a hypocrite in the sense of like selling something that you don't personally own, because that was an issue that I had
right,
to address real early on, and literally bring quarters to the closing table just to get over that anxiety.
right. And like I do like investments. I did my first BRRRR earlier this year and stuff like that, and then have some rentals already. But it's nothing that's like crazy, like overwhelming. It's and some of those it's super little, but just because I'm kind of a little bit more diluted in my position because I didn't bring a whole bunch of cash to those deals. But it's just trying to find out, if I guess basically renting and being downtown is a better spot because downtown's so expensive that I can't even I wouldn't be able to afford living like owning a residence downtown. But going out to the suburbs, I guess I would probably center my business a little bit more than what I am right now, but I would have my own residence at the same time. So
You could do that and go big and find a builder to start working with just out in one of the booming burbs.
right.
Yeah, and the advantage you would have if you're competing with other investors, Devin, and this is kind of like a mental thing you have to look at. Look at the rent you would be paying downtown if you decided not to buy, right?
Right.
That's $1,000. That adds $1,000 to your bottom line on a purchase. That
Right.
you'd be living in a unit and not having to pay that, right? That's an advantage you'll have going up against other investors. And
Right.
what I'm seeing talking to commercial guys and commercial brokers is that cap rates are going up because it doesn't make sense to buy something at a 5 cap when your mortgage is costing you 6%.
Right.
Right? So now we're actually starting to see pretty decent cap rates. I don't know about your specific market, but
We're starting to finally see corrected cap rates.
yeah, correct it. Yeah, we're correct cap rates exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then if you get into a bind, I mean, what would kill you buying on an FHA is how little you're putting down, but hopefully you have you're saving enough money that you can have your emergency fund to float, and figure out what you're going to do with the property.
So I
Right.
came in late. Devin, what is your intended purpose, or what are you doing?
Well, so it's just trying to find out what makes a little bit more sense for me. I guess
So
as an agent and then financially too.
So this is a personal decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's right now I live downtown and I got super cheap rent. I mean, it's like it's like $700 a month, but right now when I'm looking at other places, now it's $1,500 to $2,000 a month, which is basically, what a mortgage would be like. So I'm like, well, shit, if I'm spending that much, does it make sense for me to move out to the suburbs and, get a mortgage rather than just renting? But again, right now where I'm at, I'm literally in the center of everywhere that I sell. So I go out to the suburbs, I'm kind of focused a little bit more on one area. You know what I mean?
I would say that depends on your why. Same thing as a seller or any other client. Why
Right.
are you going to move?
Right.
I'm asking. Is it just
Right.
to change a location, to have a home for the future? Why are you wanting to move?
Honestly, right now it's probably it's honestly just to build equity and build
Sounds like
wealth
to
long
stack your
term.
cash. Where's your grandmama live? Can you move in with her?
Nope, I'm on my own. I'm on my own, moved out on my own, so I got no one.
Plus
Well,
one
it's funny Chad says that.
over here.
So I'm just funny Chad said that though, because I'm just outside of perspective, and my opinion's kind of like an asshole. Everybody has one. I would say stick with the cheap rent for now and stack cash, because with the market going the way it's going, you're going to find a deal somewhere, whether it's someone who's upside down and you can take over that property subject to, or whatever else. I mean, there's going to be a lot of opportunity coming
Exactly.
in the future market.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
be
saying go buy
in the
something
game.
on market right now, Devin. I agree with Thomas. Like, keep paying your cheap ass rent and be ready to you'll know the deal when you see it.
It'll
Devin,
almost feel too good to be true.
Yeah.
When does your lease expire?
Well, right now I have someone that I'm honestly taking over just because the situation in the lease isn't great with the who I'm living with. So I'm having someone try to take it over by the end of this month. So that's kind of why I'm so like, because now I'll be on my own for the rent. So the rents, that's why I'm like, it's doubling now to where it's going to be about 1,500 because I'm going out on my own. So I just kind of like to do my own thing, and I've realized that having like a roommate isn't sometimes the best bet. So, multifamily is a little bit better because if, they're on their own side, then I don't have to worry about it.
So that's another thing coming. So I don't know your personal finances or anything along those lines, but if you can manage to survive another year, 2 years where you're at, because sellers have, especially investors with multifamily, and especially the mom and pops with smaller multifamily, like 12 units and under, they're going to get to a point now where they have to either correct their price or hold it. And there's a reason they're sales, because they're tired of the headache of dealing with tenants. And you're going to be able to come in, and it's going to take the right deal. It's not going to just be the first or even second that you come across, where you can owner finance it from them, and you take over the headache and you have your own place. Or, I mean, there can be so many different creative opportunities there that you can take over for them.
Right.
And then you can get what you want, where if you might live in that multifamily for several years and the market gets better and you cash out refi it and you have a crap ton of just tax-free cash, and then you go buy a house then. I mean, I don't know if you're single or what your situation is, but as a single man, the best thing you can do right now is build wealth, because you don't have to worry about a woman.
Right.
Which is where I'm at.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at too. I got no baggage, so that's why I'm like, I can be wherever, and that's why I like being downtown so much, even though it is, more. I mean, honestly, it's more of a rental market downtown than anything. But I'm so versatile in where I can be and where I need to be. It just makes it super easy to travel for all of my clients. And then I feel like I get more clients too because I can be wherever. I'm not just tied to one specific location of like maybe north of downtown. I can go all directions because it's easy for me to travel to.
Here's what you do. You go through and you filter your clients by net worth. You go and you create a syndication with the wealthiest ones, and you build your own apartment building downtown. That's like 100 birds with one stone. You're welcome. That's like $10,000 in consulting advice.
So
Or buy
speaking
the
of that,
building you're living in.
Yeah, there
that
you go.
too.
Chad,
Get creative. That could be like what Thomas was saying. I mean, what's the situation with your landlord? Is it do they have a bunch of rental properties, or are they getting old? I mean, maybe you could work something out where you fix it up, and maybe even, I mean, I have no idea if you would be able to convert it to a duplex or triplex, or I mean, what that would look like. But yeah, I mean, I would say have a conversation with your landlord if you're happy where you're at, and start getting some equity, like Thomas was saying, and just, I mean, build wealth, and then you could do a cash out refi later, or whatever. When in 2 years and there's blood in the streets.
and additionally to what I was saying, when you're looking for those people with the possibility of owner financing, you want to look at people that are at least retirement age, because they're looking to get away from the game and get away from dealing with tenants if they don't have a property manager, especially with those smaller units that are anywhere from 5 to 12 units, because 1 to 4, obviously you can get with an FHA loan. And with that being said, there's a higher possibility of those being owner financed. And I would say do not be scared of the ones that look like shit, because there is
Right.
so much value add there.
Right.
That's just instant equity once you fix it up.
Right. Yeah. And I placed an offer on one last week. I lost out though. I bidded 25 over, and someone else paid 52 over. So I was like, well, shit. But
Hey,
All right,
unless
wait.
you're
I
willing to
I've
pay 53 over, it's not a loss.
I
Don't get fed.
I do have just a general kind of random question. When you guys are, because I mean, I make speculative offers all the time, like, just throwing spaghetti at a wall. And I have 3 different, I have like a bullshit LLC, and then, a real one, and then a syndicated one. So, well, that was kind of confusing, but long story short, do you guys write it in your personal names and make it assignable? How do you guys normally roll with that when you're representing yourself in a deal that you're buying?
I just write the LLC and or signing. I try and avoid using my personal name because of instances where I just came across where it tends to be fraud.
Yeah,
Yes.
New Jersey, we're not allowed to even use bullshit LLCs. If you don't tell them that you're a real estate agent making the offer, you can get in a lot of trouble.
Oh, you just check a little box in Georgia, and it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to disclose if it's a purchase where we're like the primary owner.
in Texas, it is a small line that says, "Is the agent more than a 10% equity owner of da da da?" And that's paraphrased. It doesn't say that exactly, but
Oh, Texas by equity. Interesting.
well, that's paraphrased. I said that's not
Yeah,
exact.
no, but
Not
they
in the
do it by,
context.
not even okay. But they have ownership interest in the
10%
property.
ownership interest, something along those lines.
Some
Over
degree of
10%.
ownership interest, because they're kind of realizing that like agents are kind of getting smart and weaseling themselves into these deals.
Well, so one guy over here that we actually sold some land to. It was 22 acres. What he did, he owner financed it from the seller, and through his LLC. Then he turned around and he owner financed it back out to someone else. He refinanced it, had it surveyed, and appraised. So he got it refinanced out, cashed out that seller, so he does not have to pay his 10% interest anymore. And that was when money was cheap. So now he's 3% interest. Then he owner financed it back out into 2 different lots.
He's either brilliant or he's committing fraud. I can't tell.
No, he's
It's
not.
a very thin line between the two sometimes.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a genius strategy. For the next 30 years, he's going to get a paycheck every month. So I'll slow down and say that again. I don't know if I said that too fast, because I tend to talk fast. So he owner financed it from seller A for 10% interest.
Correct.
I think a 3-year balloon note.
Okay.
So he went and bought it. So within 6 months, he had it replatted and resurveyed, and because it was 22 acres into 2 11-acre tracts.
So it was a land deal. So he did it kind of as an agent developer.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So He cut it in half, had it reappraised and replatted, then reappraised. I said that backwards. So when he got it reappraised, it came in higher because it was platted as for some god awful reason I don't know.
Well, it's because appraisals are bullshit, and if you make the appraiser's job easier and say, "Oh, well, here, yeah, I guess this could be a subdivision, sure, oh yeah, here."
Well, because it reappraised higher, he took that appraisal to the bank and said, "Hey, look at what this is worth now." So he got a cash out refi.
I'm surprised the bank did a cash out refi on 85%.
Yeah, it was something crazy. That relationship was, I was like, wow. But anyways,
that's that Texas oil money.
He pulled that money back out, and then he turned around because that money is now tax free because it's a loan per se.
Yep.
Then he owner financed it just to 2 other buyers. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so now he took money from the bank. Now he's being the bank.
Now he's being the bank, and he's getting interest on top of their interest. So he's paying them 3% per se.
On top of the whatever X million dollars that he cashed out.
Yeah.
Damn, that man's a genius.
And whatever his relationship with that banker must be good, because most banks would call that note due.
Yeah. Yeah, it was brilliant. He got real ballsy up until the second owner when him playing the bank. I mean, I was all that's probably where I would have drawn the line. But I mean,
Dad, let me ask you a question.
Hit me.
Albany, Georgia?
Albany, old Slappy Road.
I was that Georgian for yes?
Yes. Yeah. You want to talk about the hood? That's the hood.
That's the hood.
Like I will
Class C?
the Class F. The only thing I would buy there would be honestly no, because then I'd have to have them tested. At least in Atlanta you have, like a concierge type service. What would I buy in Albany? It's because, so really, I mean, you look at net migration. So they've had this massive negative net migration because there was a Cooper Tire, I think, that moved out. And now the largest employer is like the hospital. And anytime that's a situation, I mean, that's not good because that's just a fucking nightmare for our city. But if you're looking in South Georgia, where I would look is Brunswick. Undervalued, amazing market.
I'm underwriting a deal down there. 407 units at a walking in 7 cap with an $18 million assumable loan at 3.25%.
In Albany?
In Albany, yeah.
What's the average rent per door?
I'd have to pull up the spreadsheet here.
Roughly, like a couple $100, less than 1,000.
700-800.
Yeah, you'll be. Can you make it Section 8?
Pretty sure.
If that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Not to plug myself, but I do know the governor.
It's like a walking in 7 cap at 87% occupancy.
Shoot it over to me, and I mean, this is the Big Chad Deal Flow show as proclaimed tonight. No, but actually, the Albany one, I definitely can. Yeah, I mean, because I have
one of my larger clients is underwriting it right now, and if he passes on it, because he said it's way too small for them, which
way too small. Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
What in your okay? Yeah, let's talk about your larger client.
They want like 900 plus unit multifamily deal.
Oh, same institution that we spoke about.
Maybe. Did I mention anything about a vintage? Like it had to be later than 1980?
Yes, you did.
To be later than 1980. No, that's another fund from Miami.
Okay, so this is a new. Is that old fund still buying, or not old fund, but is that Miami fund still buying?
Honestly, now that we mention them, I'm gonna have to reach out and talk to them.
Okay, talk to them, and then this new one, they deep pockets. Are they geographically?
Deep pocket, New York City investment fund. They do multifamily, office, industrial, anything they can get their hands on.
Does it have to be turnkey?
There's got to be some meat on the bones, but they were
Right.
very much.
Trailer parks? Will they do that?
No, that's one thing they haven't touched. But I got a good if you got big trailer.
Oh, I got big fucking trailer parks in Georgia.
I got a good contact to get.
Will they owner finance it?
Down here in Georgia, yeah. I mean, you got to butter them up. So I drive down there, my 7 Series, my Rolex, and I play the agent, and I talk to them for fucking 20,000 hours about like their husband that died and yada 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 yada. And you build the rapport, and then yes, they will owner finance it. But if you ask them right out of the gate, hell no, they're not going to owner finance it because they don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, I mean, anything if you get anything like 75 pads plus, I got the guy who like represents some of the biggest mobile home park buyers in the country.
Okay, good deal.
Half of one of my pudgy penguins, so we're very close.
He owns half of one of your pudgy penguins.
Yes, he has a 50% ownership stake in one of my NFTs.
Oh, and I didn't know we're doing NFTs on here now. You guys are brilliant. I'm telling you.
These penguins, Ryan's got one. I wish Mayhem hadn't have left. I'm looking for one more person for a. It's so funny. I bashed Airbnb the other day, and now I'm looking for someone to go in on an Airbnb with me.
Well, you bashed Airbnb right when my fucking Cobra Kai mansion was supposed to break the news, and the only person that wrote about it was fucking TMZ. And last time it went viral like 3 times, and I go on Twitter #Airbnb, and all these people are like, "And capitalism sucks," blah, 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 greedy landlord, blah 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 blah. And I'm fucking.
I play the trends, baby.
Look, Luca, we got to pump the Airbnb with those memes.
Nah. Airbnb shot. The moment I saw somebody charging like $299 for a course on how to do Airbnbs, I'm like, this is over.
Yeah, when you start to see, the
experience has gone all the way down.
It's like Trump University all over again.
Trump University all over again, exactly. And you didn't even get any steak or bottled water this time. Airbnb, like 3 years ago, I'd go to a place in Colorado Springs, and there's like a gift basket.
Yeah.
Personal cell phone number. Here's a list of things to do. Now you go, and it's like, if you do not take out the trash.
It's aggressive. No, and that's yeah.
I still like it in Europe, but America, it's gotten fucked. In Europe, they just don't give a shit. It's super chill.
Yeah, Europe's still very cheap. I'm still eyeballing those central.
Yeah, you should do it, man. That'd be awesome.
It'd be sick. Except I would have to do these masterminds at 3 a.m.
Your morning or our morning?
We have some good espresso out there. You'll be all right.
My morning.
Oh, as long as it wasn't my morning, I don't care.
So long as it's not me, it's fine. Hey, but listen, guys, we went over the hour here. I'd rather keep it short and valuable than long and arduous. And this was a fun one. I love the crew we have up here.
Thank you, Luca.
For next weekend, respond to your DMs. If you said you were gonna DM someone tonight, send them a DM. Follow up. Make the deals actually happen. Real Estate Mastery, session number 4. Next Wednesday, 7:30. Hope to see you guys there. How to bring customers into consultations, how to perform consultations, understanding how people learn. We're going to see a live video of a presentation Andrew did with some buyers. Really impressive stuff about how he makes his business a little more efficient. I think it'd be valuable for anyone to attend that session. And then Mastermind again, of course, next Thursday at 7:30. And with that, we will wrap it up. I'm going to go smoke the bong. Cut that out of the recording, Ryan. And I'll see you all next one.
Later, guys.
Bye, Luca.
Later, y'all. Bye, Chad. Bye, everyone. Chad, come to these more.
Left.